was super excited for this yesterday, or yesterday's video. Still the same day. Kind of cheating, getting 2 videos out of one day. And but anyway, super excited for this yesterday. And guess what? I'm still super excited for this. So what we're doing right now is we're going to pull off the entire harness. Why? Because I don't want all the comments saying, "Oh, you still got the harness on that. It's still fuel injected." Because that's not what I want. I want you guys to know that this thing is carbureted. So the issue is you cannot tune a factory Toyota ECM. Now, some people say you can. I'm telling you right now, I've spent a lot of time looking at it. I've spent a lot of time researching on the internet. Toyota ECMs are not tunable, at least 2001 and older. If you want to tune a Toyota ECM, you got to get a standalone. And I'm not talking about one of my standalone harnesses. I'm talking like a standalone engine management system. A completely new, out-of-the-box ECM unit that controls the entire engine. And those are not cheap. So, this is the next best way to be able to tune it. With the whole demolition derby world changing and trying to move from gasoline to a lot of people moving to alcohol, this is the best way that I see Toyota's doing that, is moving to a carburetor to go to alcohol, because the standalone ECU is not cheap. It's at minimum $1,000, $1,500 to $2,000 for a good standalone computer, let alone the tuning. So that's not cheap. The great thing about carburetors is a lot of derby guys, especially the older derby guys, like and no carburetors. They change all their LSs to carburetors. They change the luminas to carburetors. Carburetors are still a very common thing in the demolition derby world. Oh, so we have that off. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw the valve cover back on. So, I'm just tired of getting oil everywhere. One of the big things about carburetors that is really nice is the tunability, which means that there are so many different carburetors out there and so many different people that are able to adjust how your carburetor runs. You can pretty much make them do anything with proper tuning and knowledge. Now, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge with carburetors. My experience with them is I used to rebuild Toyota carburetors because I used to be a big Toyota truck guy when I was younger. And then I had a Mazda in high school, a Mazda B2200, and it didn't run right, so I thought that I would tune the carburetor to make it run better, and I'm telling you right now, that trucker never ran again. There was 26 vacuum lines on a 1989 Mazda B2200. So I just put a small block Chevy in it when I was like 17, so yeah. Some carburetors are a lot easier than others. Realistically, when I was 17, I should have just saved money and went with a Weber carb. But for the same price of a Weber carb, I was able to actually install a V8. So yeah, I want the V8 option. I actually got better fuel economy with a V8 in my Mazda. That's kind of funny, but all right. So we're just going to throw all these back in, all the spark plug wires. Now there's no intake on it. We're going to leave the fuel rail, just for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to install the intake I got from Archibald Derby Supply. I'm super excited for this. I need the gasket still on there, so that's good. So this will be the first time I go to install this thing here. I'm going to get hopeful and just grab a little bit of hardware. I keep throwing all the hardware in this bucket, so it's kind of hard to find it all the time. There we go, I found the 2 end pieces. So I'm just going to line it up underneath. All the holes seem to be very nice going into the intake. Are they going to fit? Oh my goodness, it fits. If she fits, she sits. The only downside is, because this plate's not as thick as the original intake, it looks like I'm going to have to use some washers. Now, a lot of you guys are going to say, what about leaks around it? Well, this is why I bought the paper gasket, because I wanted it to be able to try to take any leaks around it. This comes factory with a metal gasket, and I purposely ordered the paper one because I wanted it to be able to adjust for any small vacuum. Oh, bud. Okay, let's get this puppy gunned onto there. So for the first take, there is some vacuum leaks, but this is going to be a good proof of concept. I guess I'll maybe have to put some more seals in between it to try to tighten up all those vacuum leaks. But as of right now, I'm okay with how it is. I'm going to throw the carburetor on it now and see how she looks and go from there. So I figured out the issue why it wasn't touching so hard at the top. It's because it was hitting the fuel injector rail. So I pulled that out. I plugged all the fuel injector holes with 3/8 bolts with a carriage head on the top, and I'm just going to silicone them in there. That's temporary. If I do this full time, I'm just going to drill and tap those out. Take the intake off, drill and tap all those holes, put a bolt silicone and put it in there. But that's pretty tight. That is right tight to the back of this. Back, you're looking at 5 and maybe a half inches. From there to there, you're looking at 7. So it still gives you clearance, and that's to the top of the rain tray. So if you smash that rain tray out of the way, it's going to make a world of difference. So now it's time for carburetor, I guess. Oh, I need a gasket. So by no means am I an expert at carburetors, but I'm going to try. Alright, just goes to prove it. Put it on backwards. By no means am I an expert on carburetors. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull this thing down and go from there. Now this is going to stick out your hood. That's awesome. Put the fear in people. When I went down to Mini Meltdown was the actually first time I was ever in the ring with a carbureted Lumina. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's kind of intense. They can produce a lot of power and they can pick up quick. So they freaking move when they want to. But like I said, that was my first time. So it was intimidating seeing all the carburetors sticking out the hood at Meltdown. There wasn't a whole lot on the Luminas. I bet you there was about 5 or 6. But I haven't been to Bash for Cash since the Luminas started really taking over there. The one time I went, was 2015 for Bash for Cash, and Luminas were still starting to gain popularity at Bash for Cash, but are still mostly just rear-wheel drives and stuff like that. So the butterflies clear the intake ports, which is nice. We're just going to tighten these down, and then we're going to be hooking some fuel line up. That's right. We're going to see if this thing runs. So we've got the fuel pump hooked up. See if we start getting fuel in here. Oh, I can hear it pumping. Let's see if we're getting fuel up here. Let's just wait. Come on, baby, give me fuel. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me something I desire. Okay, so let's try this again. We need some fuel. Come on, give me fuel. There, we got fuel. Okay, fuel, check. Let's put that on there. Okay, let's hook fuel pump back up. Okay, let's check to see if we have fuel in there. Check our jets. There we go. She's got fuel, you see that? Oh, she's got fuel. Now the question is, will she run? And for that, make sure you come back tomorrow. Oh, I want you guys to come back tomorrow. I am so excited to see if this thing fires. We've got the intake on there. It looks amazing. We have the distributor hooked up. We got spark. We got fuel. Timing is set. The harness is not even hooked up. There is no wires on this motor except for the distributor and the spark igniter. So make sure you guys come back tomorrow and hopefully this thing runs. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Sorry about the tease. See you back here tomorrow.